sincerely hear them and that you support their concerns. So our goal as a city should be to enhance and create voter participation. When you look at the low turnout rates over the last several years, we should be doing everything in our power as a city to create and enhance voting participation, not to suppress it. So I am asking you, I'm imploring you that you listen to the voices of the people that you work for. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments, Mrs. Gallen-Clark. Next to speak is Victoria Fennell.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. And it's an honor to address the council this evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Victoria Fennell, a longtime resident of Hartford's Blue Hills neighborhood. And I would just like to piggyback off of what Ms. Vicki Gallen-Clark just stated. Again, addressing the capacity issues as the Registrar of Voters has mentioned. I would like to see the council allocate resources that she needs to continue operating the North End Senior Center as a polling place. You know, I'm a lifelong Democrat here in the city, and our seniors are certainly a very loyal voting bloc, and I think we need to make sure that they are able to continue to be in that position by making sure that they can vote, making accommodations for them, if necessary, the city providing transportation if a location is going to be moved. Let's make sure that they can be taken to the next polling location so that their safety is addressed and we show concern for them, and also they are able to cast their ballot. Number two, I'd also like to discuss the comment on the third-party vendor resolution that's coming up through the Labor Committee. I think for one thing, if we're looking for people to fill city positions, I think we should always have the talent from within mindset, which is we really should be engaging with our community-based organizations. For the record, I am board chair of Blue Hill Civic Association, but I'm not speaking in that capacity this evening. I am speaking as a concerned Hartford resident, but we should be working with organizations that specialize in workforce development. We should also be looking at our universities that are in the city, as well as alumni associations. You know, these are great and free resources that the city could be tapping before we start engaging a third-party vendor. We need to develop a mindset of a talent from, seeking out talent from within the city of Hartford before we start engaging in outside areas. I think engaging with outside parties should be a last resort. Those are my comments for this evening, and I thank you very much for the opportunity to allow me to address your body. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Victoria Fennell. I also want to recognize our Corporation Counsel, Howard Rifkin, who has been with us, and also Councilman Josh Mixtum. Next to speak is Ms. Angela Harris. You have the floor.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Court of Common Council. My name is Angela Harris. I'm a Hartford resident. Today I'm coming to you as the chair of the Greater Hartford African American Alliance's Health, Equity, and Environmental Justice Committee. I'd like to address the City of Hartford's easement at 415 Granby Street. Many of us know that as Weaver High School. Much of the information about that has been put out as 415 Granby Street. Wondering why it hasn't been addressed as Weaver High School. That should be commonly known. I have several questions as to whether the City of Hartford and the Court of Common Council has done its due diligence in this matter. The first public meeting that I was made aware of via a text 4 hours before the meeting, and of course I had conflicts on my schedule. I would like to know who was at that meeting, what information was shared at that meeting. It has not been brought formally before any of the NRZs in North Hartford. It has, to my knowledge, not been brought before the Student Governance Council at Weaver High School. And logistically speaking, the gas main line running from the Weaver campus under the railroad tracks through wetlands to service a fuel cell that would have benefit to the University of Hartford campus should they lose service from the power grid, with no to Weaver High School should the power grid go out on the Hartford side of this project, to me is quite alarming that students, staff, faculty would take the risk of an active fuel line being serviced to another campus without any community benefit on the Hartford side is problematic. And two, C&G has gas lines on the West Hartford side that could service this unit from Bloomfield Avenue. Again, I'm not sure what due diligence was done, whether they have brought this plan to West Hartford residents, but I don't feel that Hartford residents should bear the full burden of the risk associated with an active gas line servicing a power unit that, again, goes under a vibrating railroad through wetlands to get to the University of Hartford's fuel cell. That's problematic. There's opportunity for leaks. And again, in a brand new school building, why we would be disturbing the grounds to do this when it can be done from the West Hartford side is an issue that the City Council, before approving this matter, really should investigate. And also, while doing so, investigate the environmental impact of gas-fed fuel cells. I think if you did your research, you would not approve this project. And again, I don't know how fully you've been informed. I guess several folks have signed off on it, but little information has been brought to the community, and it has not been brought to the community as a project that is impacting, quote, Weaver High School, also referenced as 415 Granby Street on all the communications. I believe if the Student Governance Council, the faculty, the teachers union, all were fully informed, you would have heard more. So my question is, what's the secret? If this is something that's really good for Hartford, it would be communicated as such. Where is the community benefit? Last thing, as it relates to the voting location of losing the North End Senior Center, I don't know how many of you elected officials might be running for re-election in the near future, but to, based on the redistricting, relocate folks that are most likely to vote.
Mrs. Harris, I have to apologize, but your 3 minutes are up. You're actually going on 5. So I thank you for your comments. Feel free to write to my office with your other concerns, and I will share them with this council body. I also want to acknowledge Councilman Clark, who's here with us, and I see Councilman Mitchum's hand is raised. You have the floor, Councilman Mitchum.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to say to Ms. Harris that we did, we're not done discussing it, but we did discuss that
for comment. I'm guessing most members of the council haven't even read the full police union contract. I may be wrong. We're wondering when the council is going to take ownership of police accountability and of the disciplinary issues that we're concerned about beyond the Civilian Police Review Board, which has its role to play, but let's not forget is a complaint mechanism, not a disciplinary mechanism by design. This makes it difficult because we were planning to make this an issue, anticipating a vote of approval from the council. We're not naive enough to think in an election, in a tough on crime year, that the council would turn the contract down in any way. But we were planning a series of measures that now are challenging, bringing victims of violence, police violence, to the public over the airwaves and through the media during the upcoming election season, highlighting the financial cost in verdicts and settlements to the Hartford taxpayers of police misconduct during the election season upcoming, mobilizing activists and organizers, and bringing in experts from around the country to highlight the council's inaction on this issue. So you're making it difficult. I wanted to highlight another, what we perceive as failure of the council, and that is to meet the statutory 44-day deadline to approve or reject the tentative agreement. Even that, it seems, was beyond this council. Let's review that timeline. April 7, tentative agreement reached, 44-day clock starts ticking. April 25, Mayor Bronin sends it to the council. 2.5 weeks had transpired there, by the way. 2.5 weeks later, Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability gives a favorable recommendation. Corporate Counsel Rifkin advises council that they will miss the deadline to affirmatively ratify the agreement, which was coming up fast on May 21. May 17, Public Safety and Quality of Life Committee meeting canceled for lack of referrals. Really? May 21, the deadline passes and the tentative agreement passes by default into the approved category. May 23rd, bizarrely, ironically, the full council votes to refer the matter back to OMBGA after OMBGA had already favorably referred it to council. So it's really disappointing. Honestly, we feel you're not doing your jobs. And we're going to publish our scorecard that I mentioned last session. We asked for courage and we get craven. 18 months to November 2023. We predict there will be electoral consequences. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your comments. Next to speak is Mr. Christopher Dukes.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, Council and other faithful citizens of Hartford. Just here to ask a report for my comment. On May 25th, 2022, the Civilian Police Review Board found Major Crimes Unit detectives in violation of conduct unbecoming a police officer and neglect of duty. These police detectives were Donovan Thorpe and Michael Heselton. This result is long overdue. It took 631 days from the date I filed the complaint until the date the board heard the case. This is proof that the department's intentional dereliction of duty or pure incompetence of the existing leadership when it comes to policing itself. It is also a great example of how citizens of Hartford, the people of Hartford, can be inflicted by administrative police brutality and the lengths officials will go in effort to limit transparency and accountability. I'm left with the question of how many citizens out there have criminal records who shouldn't? How many of them have lost their jobs, lost their children, etc., because detectives like these knowingly and willingly lie under oath to make a case stick? My children remain in harm's way today, 4 years removed from the situation. They are still in harm's way because detectives like these and other members of the Hartford Police Department who have escaped accountability thus far, and more accountability will come. But unfortunately, I have to keep fighting the situation. Madam President and the council, we must deter police misconduct in our city. We must not reward or encourage it. And when citizens like myself bring these matters to your attention, please do not be dismissive. Please take them serious. Do not make us fight for 4 years and then some to get justice. You all were put in the seat. I voted for some of you, all right? So to make sure you were in that seat for a reason, we need you to do better. We just need you to do better. And the fact that we rubber stamp a new contract that extends the ability for more of this to go on, it's just not right in any ways. Again, I'm trying to hold a Christian tongue here. But folks, we must do better. I offer my talents and my expertise to help you in that regard, but we cannot continue to ignore the problem that we have in this police department. We must fix it once and for all. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Christopher Dukes. This concludes our public comment section for this evening. I want to thank everyone, and please join us for our regularly scheduled council meeting at 7 p.m. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.